ambition is to go to the mid-season brawl, you have to be able to deliver a little bit more than only 1 or 2 map wins against the 7th in the standing.
You also got to deliver the idea of not being inconsistent all the time. Like, if week in and week out, I have no idea what Esports we're going to be getting and whether or not they're going to be on point. I like the idea in Game 1 and Game 2 to go for the Judgment type of compositions, but I want to see them play their more standard type of play. And I know Maki's coming in here and being a bit different in the drafting, so that's why we're seeing a little bit of different hero pool compared to what we've seen in the past. But we need them to be consistent, because we need that at the MSB. You cannot go into a tournament and just fall out flat because you're not willing to adapt.
Exactly. So this adaptation is something that we need now. It was a cool draft for Tomb. We saw Stitches again, we saw Oriel as well, but that's also a draft that you can't just use consistently. So this is not necessarily only meta. And it's always awesome to see a bit of a twist coming in, as we said before, and it delivered a win for them, but they still need something that's just stable.
I am looking at BOE here and seeing if we're going to get that Hanzo again from Crosby. And if we do, will he adjust his build? He seems to be really still into this auto-attack type of mindset. But I think the Scatter Arrow build is too good to ignore on this Battleground. The amount of race that you get and the ability to always come back post-level 7 into the Immortal races is too important to look on.
Solo lane is also another thing that I want to watch out for. Sonya has been banned now twice by Tricked Esports. This could be a map where they prioritize her high enough that they say, okay, we're going to pick her ourselves. We're not going to try and ban her out. But the added pressure on the Immortal is something that we value high enough to make sure that Sonya is part of our own composition.
So far, she's been banned out in Game 2 and Game 3, but maybe she'll sneak on through here in Game number 4. With the first pick going up also, I am curious to see if we're going to get that Malfurion or that Garrosh instead here for Diamond Skin. What do they prioritize higher? The
ban pattern as well. Do they ban out Maiev? Now, they banned Maiev every time they were in the second pick position, when that makes a lot of sense since you don't want to give Maiev over to your opponent. But do they have a play around Maiev? That's the question now, because if Diamond Skin doesn't ban it,
then that's that.
And they say no. Simply saying, okay, we don't want her to be part of this at all. Third time, fourth ban, actually, against Maiev. And Sonya once more eliminated by Tricked. So after the initial loss on Volskaya and the impact that Sonya had in that game, Tricked saying, okay, we are not going to deal with this. This is just too rough for us to handle. And the situation in this case stays exactly the same, even though the first pick position has changed.
Now, do we get Medivh on this Battleground? That's the Battleground that we've seen Medivh be successful with. Pretty easy to finish up your Master's Touch quest as well, because you're in spots where a lot of corridors bring people in through chokes, so you drop down that linear skill shot.
We could also see a Tracer composition again.
True.
Malfurion has been picked away, but you could go into Tracer Stukov, which is a combo that we have seen in the previous games, in the previous series, quite often.
Yep.
Stukov has even been banned out a couple of times in the series that we're currently watching. And you have to, I feel, think a little bit about Garrosh, but far cry from that. Genji for Make again, and Blaze right away. Very early priority here for Alex.
So is this going to be a Tracer and Garrosh for Diamond Skin? Could see an ETC as well.
I could definitely see them going to Tracer Garrosh once more, because this is more or less the setup that they had for the last map. This is also, especially Garrosh. I mean, I would be a bit shocked if they don't go for Garrosh here with how highly they prioritized him in the previous games. And Tracer together with Malfurion is very strong, so that's definitely an option.
Also another option could get the Hanzo here, if he would like, and then try to get through the ban phase, but I'm a little bit worried about Tracer getting banned out. Hanzo will also get banned out too, I feel like, if we go to the ban phase, so
but
what do you prioritize more?
There's a couple of bans, because Tricked is most likely also thinking about something along the lines of Junkrat. Junkrat in Rogue's hands has been very powerful, and then you have, of course, Hanzo, you have Tracer. So there's a lot of tools to be used there. But Garrosh, the ban, that I think was a given. And now we have Hanzo picked. You mentioned some of the reasons. Very good with the Immortal race, as long as we see the build slightly adapted. But in this case, we have it on the side of Diamond Skin, so I feel we can expect that. And the question remains, what is Trick gonna do? I feel Diamond Skin will most likely target Stukov as a ban. But for Trick, I'm not quite so sure if they are now heading into a ban on Tracer. If they maybe think about picking Tracer for themselves, but they already have Genji, so it's a bit unlikely, but they focus on Junkrat again, the same pattern that they had on the last map.
So if you're Diamond Skin, do you risk Tracer going off here, and you allow Genji and Tracer to be on the opposing side, diving your Hanzo?
I don't really think that Trick would play Tracer-Genji composition, especially since both of the heroes are played by Maka.
True. Well, Diamond Skin thinking about what they want to get rid of. Are there any
Stukov
warriors?
is the one that jumps to mind for me, personally.
Sure.
Abathar,
though.
worried about the setup that they faced on Infernal Shrines, which
point.
also makes sense. Stukov is frightening, but we've seen how much Genji, Maka on Genji can do, And then on Infernal Shrines, of course, that setup and having the Abathur head as well made them probably even a little bit more cautious about what they're facing here.
A trick considering what they want to pick up. Do you think we'll get the Tyrael again, possibly? With the Blaze?
I mean, we could. Blaze and Tyrael was always a really strong setup, but if they do it here, I really want them to not go into Judgment, because that was just shut down too much.
Yeah.
It didn't work 2 times. I would not go for it a 3rd time at this point. But having Tyrael for Sanctification together with Blaze, that can still be powerful for them. I really want them to play around Stukov though. So I want to see that Lurking Maw, I want to see that Silence, and I think that's something that Grandpa Keta can definitely pull off here.
Now, the last time Stukov was available, they also moved into an Uther, so just throwing that out there.
Yeah.
With the Genji being here. Still a combo for Tricked. I wouldn't mind seeing the support into a Tyrael. I feel like that fits Tricked pretty well. Gonna get the Tychus and the Uther instead, leaving that 5th pickup here.
And also still keeping the options open, since Blaze can be the main tank. So if they feel that after Diamond Skin now takes the last double pick, they need to adjust their own setup and the dynamic of their composition, they can still do that and give Alex a different hero and move Blaze over the Rema Baller. Diamond Skin now. So they have already Garrosh, we have Hanzo and Malfurion for them. So the side laner is still something that has to be decided. We could see them with Malthael here. We also have still Leoric around. So there's actually a few options for what they could take here. They need to be careful because probably it's going to be Blaze that they're up against. I'm really wondering if they even go for a bit more CC even. What do you think about... I don't think it's going to happen, but about more CC on the side. Let's say, for example, you go into ETC here. You have Garrosh and ETC, Malfurion as well. You can hold your own on the solo lane. You're not going to win it. But for the team fights, it feels like it could have a big impact.
That's what I was worrying about. Maybe more triple backline. They seem to really enjoy that, and they move into the Lunara. Lunara they use in the past as a way to try and control the Genji, to try and grab the poison and of course slow him down when he goes for the dive. It puts a lot of pressure on Malfurion to make sure he's on point, but very doable, and they add a Tyrael for themselves.
Coming back to Tricked. Last pick, boys. Solo lane Blaze, or do you feel you need to put someone else on the solo lane? I think they're probably just going to go on at their main tank now. Question is, what's that going to be? We have Tychus and Genji together already. More CC on their part wouldn't really hurt them either.
ETC going through my mind here. Stage dive could be a tool too, so you suddenly have someone in that back line.
I wouldn't mind ETC at all. Nubarok? Yeah. You have to be careful with your engage.
Yeah. And you
can't engage into Garrosh and get flipped then, so he needs to have his burrow charge.
When first Garrosh came out, it used to be if you get flipped, you had to have the burrow charge, but then suddenly you also have that root threat that can come out, the Twilight Dream too, and if that hits right when a Nubarok gets flipped, suddenly you can't burrow out and your health pool is so small that you get picked off. But again...
Cocoon alone is great.
Yeah, the Nubarok can work.
And there's very little to break that Cocoon down super fast. There's no Li Ming with it is integrated that they can use for this.
So who do you like for the draft here on this battleground? If you take away names.
Diamond Skin has a really good race against the Immortal. I feel like they have a good draft that they can definitely use to win this. And for their opponent, it hinges a lot again on Marke. I like both drafts, but I would actually give Diamond Skin, just from the draft perspective, a bit of an edge because they have more Immortal pressure than their opponent.
I think there's a lot of control on the right side here for Tricked Esports, and I like what Tychus brings to a trade if he's able to get that one-on-one with that minigun. So I think if they control well enough, I actually do like Tricked Esports, but I do completely respect Hanzo is someone that you just cannot ignore when it comes to this battleground. He's too strong. Let's go ahead and go into game at number 4, BOE. Diamond Skin is up 2-1 as Tricked Esports has just come out fresh on their first win.
Tricked Esports has put the name on the board, but to the left it is Diamond Skin that we see here. And we have them again with Roba Doba on Garrosh for the 4th time in a row now. Nanda has taken over Tyrael. Wolfjaw finds himself on Malfurion again, and Roskmek on Hanzo this time, and Darkmark on Lunara.
On the right side in the red, Crosby plays Tychus, Rimmer on Anubarak, Grandpa Kit playing Uther, Make on Genji, and Alex Aproji will be in that side lane as Blaze.
Okay, let's see if Trick can bring this into a 5th game and maybe work towards a reverse sweep. Since that's what they need to do here if they want to take the series. We have Tyrael at the top lane against Blaze. The Trick sprays are already on point down here to the bottom right. But let's face the Garrosh play again, because Roba Doba is already waiting.
Waiting and lurking, looking for that combo, wanting to force a fight. Trick Esport aware of this, not knowing where that Garrosh is, backs up immediately, plays safe, and will allow the minion wave to come to them as they should. I'm going to be watching Rimmer though. We haven't seen a Nubrak in a couple days.
Yeah, the Nubrak has definitely fallen off a bit. He was for a long time played with heavy dive comps, and the idea was oftentimes to just go in with the Nubrak, get the stuns, have a Stuka follow up, for example, for silence, and then blow a target away with burst damage. This setup is a bit different. We have a Nubrak now in a situation where he can try and control especially the movements of Garrosh a bit at that front line, and there's always that escape through the burrow charge. But very aggressive stance from Diamondskin, and this is in general something that they've started to do a little bit more, being super aggressive now.
I like the aggressive push in the top lane from Trick Esports though, with Blaze and Genji. Just Tyrael is one of those heroes that when it comes to side laning, he can sit there all day, he'll be safe. Usually you can't kill him, but he's not going to provide too much when it comes to wave clear. It's a little bit too expensive on mana to use your smite. So they use that and exploit that by burning down that turret as soon as they can. And that actually nets Trick Esport an experienced lead here as they move towards level 3.
And a lot of this comes down to the mobility of Genji again, where with Swift Strike and your trade, you can easily cross the map and make sure that you have swift rotations there. Darkmog, yeah, Jet Propulsion dodges it. Very well done here by him. Make eating a bit more damage, but yeah, turning it into a 2v2 up at the top lane, a 2-3 split now on lanes is definitely an advantageous position for Diamondskin all of a sudden. But as he said, the experience lead from Trick Esports actually stems from the kill against the tower. They nearly took down the gate itself too.
Robodoba looking for a possible pick here, runs into the fight, but with a beetle coming out, has to be careful. Make also here to help possibly get a kill on a member if they were to overstep, but Diamondskin wise backs away with the help of Wolf Joe. And now Lenara comes back, trying to match out on this 4-on-4 because they really do appreciate being in that 4-on-4 due to Uther having a hard time with Lenara's damage.
Yeah, most of this is still early game poke. You try to edge out a slight lead over your opponent by dropping a tower, seeing if you can maybe get a kill. The compositions don't really cater to that though, outside of Garrosh's displacement, but Trick Esports of course is by now pretty well aware of that. The problem is still that you want to take a few camps if you ideally can. And Diamondskin started that at the top. Trick was trying to interrupt it and actually gets not only the kill but also the camp here.
Wow.
So really good rotation from them. Diamondskin, the one that loses out now on a hero, and they have a massive push against them at the top lane. So what should have ended up being a very equal position heading into the first Immortal is all of a sudden turning into a significant advantage for Trick Esports.
That it has. Tyrael going to be written that death there. And another one might be coming in as Robodoba gets engaged upon. Rimmer comes in for the burrow charge, but not quite getting it. The Immortal in a position for Diamondskin to defend.
Yeah, the burrow charge was actually on point. The Indomitable really just shut it down, but here comes Alex with a flank, and that is the end of the deer. Lunara eliminated, and it just goes from bad to worse for Diamondskin. They still have Hanzo at the top lane defending, and Trick did a great job getting those 2 kills. They still have nearly a level lead over their opponent, but of course you want to translate that into Immortal damage, and that's what we are seeing from Trick now. They went back, they tapped off at the fountain, and now they're starting to put the pressure on.
Yeah, Diamondskin's trying to play defense here. Hanzo was poking in the top, but eventually runs down to help out in the fight. Nande low again here, and Make goes in for the kill. Swift strikes out. And Trick Esport continues to churn out kill after kill.
Yeah, it was a 5 versus 4. Lunara wasn't there, so Lunara just came back after she died earlier. And this is exactly the problem. Heavy engage and aggression, 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 and the entire time just one staggered death after another. Down goes Malfurion, and Diamondskin, they just need to cut their losses here at some point. They can't really keep that up for too long. Now, Trick is low in hit points, so they also need to play this a bit closer to our home for now. But Diamondskin needs to be really careful that they finally move up with 5. They have already suffered 4 deaths.
Yeah, Trick Esports getting the kills, but not having the most amount of burst available on their composition to try and deal on the Immortal. So they've gotten it low, but still not hitting the halftime show, and Diamondskin is able to get all 5 up once again. They have Tyrael in the top lane and only need to rotate him down, but Alex Aproji is already setting up for a flank.
Yeah, and they're starting to put the pressure on the Grand Paquete. He's going to be under a lot of pressure later on with Uther to try and keep everybody alive. Keep in mind, we have Hanzo for poke and we have Lunara. So the late game for Uther is going to be rough. And it's actually impressive to consider how Diamondskin is still pretty okay when it comes to the Immortal, considering how many kills have happened here. Because they are on half HP. But normally I would have said, okay, they lose the Immortal right away. The problem is that Trick doesn't have as much Immortal pressure as we see for Diamondskin themselves.
Yeah, and part of it also was everyone was peeling somebody off to get that minion wave on the bottom. And speaking of peeling off, Trick Esports peeled to the bottom. We were able to catch up that Lunara. Another kill comes in, 5-0. Tricked Esport with these kills has also gotten a nice lead, 7.5 to just now 7 for Diamond Skin.
Yeah, these pickups are actually starting to get a bit crazy. Alex eating a lot of damage here though and starts to engage in again, but massive move by Tricked as they go in, but the poke is this time a bit stronger than they expected, and Grand Paquette is low and falls. Uther is down, and that helps Diamond Skin to take position at their own Immortal, and they immediately split Rosmek off to the left side to try and take down the Immortal of Tricked Esports. Now Lunara coming in as well, dropping a couple of hits, getting the poison into play, but Tricked is still trying to take a position here towards the right side.
And Tychus is low on mana too, so it's actually hard for him to run and gun away from a fight, so he has to find the position to move in, and they just can't quite find it. So Tricked Esports, even with their 5 kills, are in a position where they're actually going to lose the Immortal race with that level 7 coming online for Hanzo, and Diamond Skin have done it.
Yeah, it's like Hanzo's good on this map.
It's like he's good on this map. That is so weird.
Yeah, it's really strange. This is the problem of Tricked's draft. Very aggressive, very cool with the engage through Anubarak and also Genji trying to jump in and get those kills, but then they struggle against poke, against long sustainable fights because Uther just can't keep up with the damage that has been pushed out by Hanzo and Lunara in the long run, and the pressure against the Immortal is very low for Tricked compared to what Diamond Skin is fielding here. So Tricked needs these quick kills, and then on the back of the kills, they need to also put the Immortal pressure in. And in the later stage of the game, that's going to work out a bit better for them because the death timers are longer. The problem also is, though, that towards the later stages, the damage output from Lunara with Splintered Spear and everything that we're going to see from her, and also the Hanzo poke, is going to make it very difficult for Uther to keep them at a high hit point pool so that they can make this possible.
And Diamond Skin with this Immortal are able to take a fort. That problem with being able to burn down the Immortal becomes amplified here when the Immortal is one for Diamond Skin. They actually can't clear the Immortal fast enough against the pressure coming in from Diamond Skin, and Tricked Esports find themselves in a position where they were a level ahead, now half a level behind their opponents as Diamond Skin's about to get 10.
Exactly, and I think the composition of Diamond Skin scales very nicely in the late game for the reasons that we mentioned a bit earlier, especially around them exploiting Uther's weaknesses with Lunara and with Hanzo. All the poke, the longer the fights last, the more advantageous for Diamond Skin. But this is why Tricked is looking for these kills. Level 10s are there. Sanctification, Twilight Dream already chosen. Hanzo going for the arrow. And I love that we have Diamond Skin now with the Thornwood Vines on Lunara. This is exactly what you want here. You can poke much better against the Immortal, and you can exploit Uther even more. You also add additional wave clear. It made a lot of sense to go for Leap against Stitches, but here the adjustment is made, and it's a great one.
This gives you that range, allows Darkmark to play a little bit more safe. The Fort already taking a little bit of poke here. Robodoba leading the charge. Has to back up a little bit, though, because Tricked Esport just hit 10 and was willing to fight. But with an Immortal phase right around the corner here for our two teams, I'm really excited to see how Diamond Skin will be able to burn this down, and if whether or not Tricked Esport can continue the trend of trying to force a fight and pick member after member away from Diamond Skin.
I think this is going to get worse for Tricked. I feel Diamond Skin now realize, okay, we have to be a bit more careful with positioning. We can't get picked like this the entire time. And if we lose a member, we just need to wait for the 5-man. We can poke, but we have to be safe while doing so. And now the Immortals are spawning in 25 seconds, which means that the teams are heading for camps again. Nand is double-checking here at the top, but he won't be able to contest it. Alex alone will already be able to hold it, but the rotation is also starting as we see Marka now moving in. And in the meantime, Tricked has already begun to take their camp towards the right side. So pretty much what you would expect to set the entire Immortal phase off. Just a question, how does this stand up in the middle and the poke against the Immortal then end up?
Immortal spawn aggressively. Diamond Skin instantly opens up. Couple of damages here. Lunara. Arrow coming in as well. Rosmek in a position where he can jump out if he sees anyone show up. And with Crosby showing, he backs out to make sure he doesn't get caught.
And there's no poke for Tricked. There's very little that they can do here. There's enough poke through Hanzo, through Darkmog with the Thornwood Vines where they can just like stay at the side and start poking against the Immortal, and time is working in their favor. So now the NG is trying to make something happen towards the right side, but of course that immediately triggers the approach by Diamond Skin, and that's a super easy halftime show that they just won.
And here's the best part about Lunara getting Thornwood Vines. She can peel off and start to deal with those minion waves that are off, putting in the side push, clears it up right away, with Tyr helping out. Super easy for her.
Yep.
Robodoba's already in here for defense too, and Diamond Skin can go back and go to work.
Experience is still very even. Tricked has at least been able to pick a lot of the lane experience, and so that made up for the fact that they lost structures here. But Diamond Skin is just playing this slow right now. They know that for them, they just can't run into any flanks. They're actually going for a great move here against Anubarak, and here comes a quick move with Cleanse as he moves out. There was a lot of free damage. Odin even popped at this point, and Rimmerballer is still incredibly low.
Taunt and Twilight Dream were used to try and get that kill, and Nubrak got out there, so the Odin being popped allows Crosby to step up and put a little damage on this Immortal, but Darkmog is looking to stop that, as he trades out a little bit of damage there with a decent auto attack, and looking to do a little bit more. Now, there is still a Dragon's Arrow available. Diamondskin waiting for the duration of this Tychus to finish, and there it goes, and they'll be able to step up afterwards.
Yeah, and the entire time the poke has happened. Now, of course, Odin already being down is an issue. Cocoon still available if they want to engage, but there's still continuous poke coming through. And again, up at the front, Baller, yes, there's the quick stun against Robadoba as well, but they have to be super careful with this. And especially in this closed-off area, Hanzo's arrows are always finding at least some value.
Yeah, and Twilight Dream being down actually makes Genji a little bit more terrifying, so they're being a little bit more careful here, trying to be careful with that poke. They do have signification in case a Divine Shield Dragon Blade does pop out. Tricked Esport trying to step up and be a little aggressive, but with Crosby getting hit with a Groundbreaker, has to back up.
Yeah, Tricked is starting to use their own poke, especially throughout Blaze and, of course, Tychus with the grenade. So they are starting to get closer when it comes to the amounts of hit points that are left on the Immortals. And Diamondskin has been a very passive spot. They know how exactly it ended up the last time they were going aggressive for the Immortal. They were immediately picked off on the map. Alex is already starting to flank in and see if he can maybe set his jet propulsion up.
There's the arrow. Robodoba comes around, gonna get the cleanse from Grandpa Kit. Uther doing just fine there. Bunker also being used. Tyrael has the Yellow Druid, so he's ready to go in if he needs to drop that Sanctification. Alex taking a lot out of poke, though, as Rosberg is going in with the auto attacks.
Yeah, and now they have taken the position at the Immortal again, and that allows, of course, a couple of hits through Darkmog. Lunara is great against the Immortal with the damage over time, and we see Rosberg with a similar position. Grand Paquette moving around, gets flipped in. He was looking for the stun, but he doesn't get it. Instead, he's all of a sudden in trouble and goes down. The Divine Shield at least hits Genji. He goes in and tries to get the kills, but the Sanctification comes out and saves the day.
Make trying to escape, but he gets taunted. Robodoba gets hit with a Cocoon, but it's too late. Nande able to finish up the kill with the help of Lunara, and now with a 5v3 available, Diamondskin steps forward, gets healed up, and works towards that Immortal. Now, Crosby has Odin out, so they have to be careful of that.
Yeah, second Odin in this Immortal phase, but it just doesn't help them because this is another Immortal in favor of Diamondskin, and they're going to push with a talent advantage too, since 13 is super close for them.
And there's a minion wave already down there too, working on that for it. Tricked Esport going to head down and defend, and that's the problem with using Odin there in that Immortal phase. Now suddenly Odin is not available for the defense against the Immortal that's going to be pushing in. Tricked Esport, remember what happened last time? They lost a fort because their damage against the Immortal isn't the strongest. Diamondskin going to be looking to grab a keep wall and maybe a keep.
Yeah, this fort is going to be gone by the time that the Immortal arrives. If it's lucky, it's going to get one shot, and that's exactly what happened. Outside of that, Arrow comes in again as they are moving in. Bunker is out. Baller still split off at the side, but we have the Twilight Dream, and all of a sudden the taunt comes through as Robodoba moves to the front and Blaze is eliminated.
Alex could not move. A root into a taunt, a little too much. Keep wall gets deleted, and Diamondskin is looking to keep moving forward. Make has to back because he's low on health, and this Immortal is still healthy. Auto attacks coming out. Rimmer trying to buy some time.
The taunts of Garrosh, every time that we see Robodoba make these plays, they are impactful. He saves backlines, he goes in and creates opportunities for kills, and this is an easy keep. And the Immortal, 3-level lead, 2.5-level lead, is now moving even towards the core. I'm not going to do too much here, but that's definitely a very annoying position for Tricked Esports to be in now. Keep in mind that if they lose here, they've lost the series. They are already out of this. It would be a 3-1 victory for Diamondskin, and they do everything that they can possibly do to make that a reality.
And they're working on grabbing these Mercs too to keep that pushing in. Just going to be avoiding fights. They have that Wisp to scout out the bushes too to make it easier for them, as well as Hanzo's arrows. They should not be in a position here where Tricked Esport is able to get a pick, but they're looking for it. Rimmer on the top left, trying to find that burrow charge into an engage. Grandpa Cat actually comes in with a big flank. They find a Wolfjo who has to ice block.
Yeah, Wolfjo with a good ice block here. Once again, and the immediate counter-aggression that we are seeing there, but the Divine Shield comes out for Genji as he slices and dices. The taunt, on the other hand, locks the Nubarak into place, and that's where the kill happens. And they are starting to follow it up. Robodoba already throwing Thunder forward, and here comes the quick isolation, getting the holy ground in, and Tychus has just no way of running away from this.
And if they kill Alex, could they go for the core?
They could. They have they will have 16 if they go in for this. This could definitely be game. If somehow Genji maybe gets some damage in, but it looks like they are trying to go for the keep instead. Take the camp and then take the keep at the top.
Trying to poke down this well instead. Just want to go with the Immortal. The cooldown on the timing is a little bit too low.
The death timers are just too low.
Yeah.
That's the main reason. I didn't even realize that we're only 15 minutes in when all of that happens.
Yeah.
So the death timers are super low, so they can't go for the core right away, but they can take the camp away and set themselves up to race the Immortal down again. And they already have level 16. But I'm pretty sure it crossed their mind. Just trying, okay, guys, can we go? Do we go?
Yeah.
And then, all right, just breathe, take it slow. We have such a commanding lead here. The worst thing that could happen for us is we try to commit to the core, get wiped at 30%, 20%, and just through those kills, Trick comes back into the game.
Yeah.
So play it safe. We have a 16 talent advantage. We can easily take the next Immortal here.
Diamondskin's like, can we go? And Nande's like, I don't have Sanctification. They're like, all right, nope, not happening at all here. Sanctification up in 20 seconds. 16-13. Trick Esport will do everything they can to delay this Immortal from being burned down, but they have to be careful. This lead for Diamondskin is a little too much. And the moment Sanctification comes up, I expect them to get aggressive. In fact, they're already getting aggressive. They go in for a fight. There goes the arrow. Nande puts some damage on Crosby. Back line is under pressure from Make.
Yeah, but that might not be enough. And here comes again Garrosh, and he just survives. They can't kill him. Nande comes out finally. He has Sanctification, but he doesn't have to use it just yet. Odin has already been popped, and Tricked Esports is a far cry away from even putting damage onto the Immortal. They're starting to move over, but they used Odin defensively. Once it runs out, Diamondskin can re-engage.
And meanwhile, bottom lane's being pushed in by Catapult and Mercenary Camps. Tricked Esports is pinned into a position where they have to make something happen. Bunker gets popped out. It gets deleted. Alex low on health. He'll get the cleanse so we can escape, but here comes Dragon Blade from Make, and Diamondskin just walks away.
That was actually a perfect cleanse because it also negated the Warlord's challenge that we just saw. So that was another cooldown that got burned by Robadoba as he was attempting to turn him down. But they have now everything they need to go for this Immortal, at least for the halftime show. The defense at the bot lane, we see already the shield has fallen, but no damage on the core itself. But this is, of course, an easy halftime show. And
there it is.
This is a disaster for Trick. Trick is really with the back to the wall.
And they save Twilight Dream. They also save Sanctification. So Diamondskin has defensive cooldowns. Everything is looking great for them. They have all the cards here to finish out the game. Patience is the best thing they have on their side here. Poke where they can and make sure not to get caught out. Alex the Pro G already setting up for another flank.
Yeah, he's trying, but he's getting sniffed out immediately. And here comes the Holy Ground, and that isolates him. He goes in with a jet propulsion, and the team has to engage, and that's exactly what they're doing. They get off Lunara. That's a good start for them. Twilight Dream comes out and saves for now Wolfjo. Robadoba again with a play. And here comes the Divine Shield. Genji moving out just barely before the kill can happen. But Wolfjo and Robadoba are still alive, and Hanzo comes in with a scatter shot and takes him down.
Wow, Ross May securing that kill. Crosby turns around and looks at Nande, and they start to bring him down pretty good. They have Sanctification, and they'll pop it at the last second. Also, Crosby using Odin here. They are fighting for their lives.
Tyrell is dead though, but the catapults are on the core again, and Crosby is low. Robadoba looking again for an opportunity. He gets the flip. No. Barely Rema able to move out, and Alex again flanking at the side here.
Back in Alex's bush here. He's been here a few times already.
The core is losing hit points though.
Oh yes, the Catapult is sneaking on by. Another one will be joining pretty soon here, down to 95%. Another toss by Robadoba. He has a taunt, doesn't go for it. Watches for Rimmer on the back left, who goes for Wolfjo. Darkmok is back and looking to come in here for an auto attacker too, and it's gonna chunk.
Warlord's challenge, and Remaballer is nearly dead, and all of a sudden Rosmek gets thrown close enough to get a hit off, but Remaballer still able to move out. This game is all over the place right now, but Diamondskin are putting on the pressure. Once again, the pull continuously happening against the Immortal of Tricked Esports, down to 8,000 hit points, and Tricked is just losing ground all over the place. They've been fighting all of this on a talent disadvantage. They've been behind with a level 16 talent the entire time this has been happening.
And Diamondskin now have the Immortal, and it's a big Immortal. Tricked Esport, the only chance they have here of winning this game is finding Diamondskin and 5-man wiping them, and then dealing with the Immortal. They're looking for them, but Diamondskin is aware of this. They're playing safe. Nande scouting out, sees Crosby, drops down the Eldruna, and backs up.
Indomitable has been used here, and Roba is at the front. Immortal already to the top. Wolfjo still surviving, and Robadoba just throws them around into his team, away from them, saving the backline and securing kills, going for opportunities. Alex again with an attempt to just stun him out for now, dropping the bunker. The Divine Shield is in, and the Iceberg is already popped as Malfurion is trying to keep himself alive. Malfurion, Wolfjo with a silence, and immediately the taunt against Genji. The stun as well. Robadoba with a combo as the kills just come in. Another move by Alex, but the Immortal Immortal, in the meantime, is taking the top lane. Down goes Genji, down goes Tychus, the triple, as we see Blaze obliterated. Down goes Grand Paquete, and this is going to be the end of the game. Immortal walking to the core, and Diamond Skin is about to pull it off.
Never mind the Immortal, got catapults already on the core. You have all 5 heroes for Diamond Skin, only a Nubrak for defense. Diamond Skin comes in on Sunday and finishes our last series here in HGC Europe with a win over Tricked Esport. 3-1 is the score.
Absolutely impressive here. And again, the impact that there's so many cool plays. Wolf Joe, he